Here we are, sitting on the ground in Narsarsuaq, probably one of the most remote fields on our entire journey, with a fairly significant mechanical issue. Again.
Narsarsuaq and Greenland in general is not a place where you want to be delayed.
Narsarsuaq was supposed to be just a fueling stop.
It's fairly obvious what our problem is. It's the boost pump.
To change the fuel boost pump, which should be a 30-minute, hour-long process.
And again, as has been the situation with this adventure, it took a lot of effort and head scratching.
What should have been an hour-long job ended up being something like 2.5 days of troubleshooting.
It's an interesting thing with airplanes of this age. After you fly it a while, you begin to expect maintenance problems. It's just a characteristic of an 82-year-old airplane. You don't necessarily lose confidence. It's really more you plan for the fact that, on most flights you're going to have to fix something when you land. That becomes your mindset.
So Tyler and I were working the issue together as on the ramp there in Narsarsuaq. It was a joint effort to try and work out how we could fix that.
At the beginning of day 3, I was exhausted. Paul looked at me and said, "You look like you're going to be dragging all day. Why don't you go take another hour-long nap and come back and meet me at the airplane?" And it was while I was laying down, like half asleep, that it sort of dawned on me that, these pumps are designed to run either direction. They can run clockwise or counterclockwise, and the only difference is how you wire them up that changes which direction they're going. So I thought, every time we put a pump on the left side, we're running them in one direction. It'd be a massive coincidence if they were both weak going clockwise and they both ran counterclockwise. But let's try it. I rewired the electrical plug and we tried it running the opposite direction and worked perfectly.
It was Tyler that actually came up with the solution. Considering the number and type of mechanical issues that we've had, it vindicates our preparation. Equipping the aircraft with tools, equipping the aircraft with hardware, gaskets, parts, pieces, bringing certain people onto the team, making sure that we've got enough people in the team. Here we are wrapping up day 3 in Narsarsuaq. Tyler and I have been working continuously, probably 10 hours a day, in inclement weather, but we have a third pilot. So my anxiety about going into the next day fatigued or, into the next day with inclement weather, I'm not so concerned.
My job is to sort of take off the pressure of maintenance from the pilots so that they can focus on their responsibilities and can be certain that the plane is healthy and safe to fly the next day. The timing adds a little bit of pressure. My biggest concern is safety, but I do keep the schedule in the back of my mind as well. We're trying to do things quickly, but not in a manner that will endanger anyone. We're not taking off until we're certain that the plane is in good condition, that in safe condition.
0.6.
Great.
As soon as we got the system working and everything back together and leak checked, and we called the crew and the passengers and said, "All right, get on board, we're leaving."
We've built some fairly solid friendships in Narsarsuaq, which is always great, incredibly helpful people.
Taxi checks, here we go. And let's see.
The weather was cooperating that day. We had to get more fuel on board because we had lost quite a bit of it trying to troubleshoot the system. Once the plane was working, it worked great, and we left Narsarsuaq for Reykjavik, Iceland.
3-6 Charlie's rolling 2-4.
Number 36 Charlie, roger.
2 good engines. There's 45. Okay, power which is 23.
As soon as we left Sarasarak, I was especially paying attention to the left fuel system, just making sure everything was working as it should, and thankfully it was.
Number 8336 Charlie, next frequency, Nuke information 121.3. So long.
36 Charlie, thank you for your help. So long. The color of this ice is incredible. Now nobody's on their iPhones in the back today.
The flight between Sarasarak and Reykjavik is clearly, easily the most dramatic and beautiful leg across the North Atlantic. When you leave Sarasarak headed eastbound, you have to cross the ice cap. The ice cap in good weather is unique. There's nowhere else in the world that looks like it. The ice cap is 11,000 feet high, but it's just this smooth dome. It's like the cap to the world. You can see the activity of the glaciers. You can see some of the mountains poking up through the ice cap and the glaciers.
It is smooth. It is beautiful. It's almost all harmony.
And then as you cross the east coast of Greenland, headed east, you have all of the floe ice at that time of year. The frozen waters of the north are thawing and the ice floes are breaking up. We had probably 60 nautical miles of, broken ice floes as far as the ice could see in either direction.
The sites over Greenland are pretty unique. There are very few places where you get to see that type of geography, and particularly from an airplane that's flying within a few thousand feet of the surface. It's a unique experience.
And of course, it was great to be on our way again, finally, in good condition. So I think morale was really quite high. This is one of those legs where you're immediately left with no doubt that you are doing something remarkable. We were battling our way across the North Atlantic, battling weather, delays, and mechanical, but we were still swinging, right? We were still in the fight. What happened over the next couple of legs, it's pretty cool. Really, the aircraft redeemed herself.
After you've left Greenland and got to Iceland, that was a big sigh of relief.
Iceland is one of my favorite countries. I've flown through there several times, have always been welcomed and had great experiences.
When you get to Iceland, you still have another 550 miles of water to cross to get to Scotland, but somehow it doesn't seem as ominous as the part between Goose Bay and Iceland.
November 8336 Charlie, Reykjavik Tower, wind 220 degrees 17 knots, runway 19 clear to land.
Good answer. Okay, good deal. All right.
We got to Reykjavik and there was a little bit of rain there that day, but nothing too serious.
I see 19 on the runway. We got the correct runway, and I see the other one is the wrong one. That's good. Okay.
So we had a nice approach landing in Reykjavik, but overall the flight was really, really nice.
95, 92.
Now we were at a major city. We had lots of support. If we needed to fly parts in, fly people out, it was completely available to us. It was like landing in a European city.
November 8336 Charlie, make a 180 and take the right turn on Echo most likely.
Okay, that sounds right. November 8336 Charlie.
We are now firmly behind schedule, right? All of the other aircraft have overtaken us. Some of those aircraft are now making landfall in the United Kingdom.
We initially had planned for a full day of maintenance in Reykjavik.
Meaning we had originally intended to have 2 nights in Iceland, knowing that we could trade that extra night if we end up delayed. Well, here we are, basically 3 days behind schedule now. So yeah, we're not going to get our second night in Iceland.
The original plan was to land in Wick, Scotland, which was the sort of the last stop on the original route across the North Atlantic.
We had the problem that Wick, which was our intended destination, was fogged in.
It was cloudy, it was foggy, it was raining, it was not viable landing there safely.
But Spirit of Douglas provided us with the solutions that we needed to catch up on the schedule.